What? What?
What do you think is next? I mean, you've gone through this.
More lawsuits. We want to get sued again.
Cut.
What I'm looking
How
for.
great was that? You worth the money?
Definitely not.
My favorite video this year, well, you've never seen it because it's never played on television before. In fact, this is probably the only time it will ever play on mainstream television. It's by a band that's gotten in trouble all their career. They're called Negativland. They were sued. They had the pantsuit off them by U2 about 10 years ago for doing an album called U2.
Going to sell Pepsi.
Negativland as a band has always, for the most part, remained part of an obscure subculture of music. That sort of avant-garde sound collage is a style that few bands are successful in replicating, making Negativland an enigma in the music landscape. Currently consisting of Mark Hostler, David Willis, Peter Conham, and John Leidecker. The band's name is taken from a new track, and while their musical output has slowed as of late, the band continues to produce new albums into the 2010s. Whether it's a scathing critique of commercialism in their album Dyspepsy, or an in-depth exploration of religion in their album It's All in Your Head, or compilation albums consisting of the best bits of their long-running radio show, Over the Edge. And while the band has covered many different and controversial topics, Negativland is not without its own controversies. One of the best known of these would be their entanglements with the band U2. In 1991, Negativland released an EP that would try and fail to set a legal precedent for fair use.
The letter U and the numeral 2.
Fair use, according to U.S. copyright law, is a provision in the law that allows copyrighted works to be used without permission of the holder for use of parody, criticism, as well as other special circumstances. Fair use protection usually applies to transformative works and criticism, but in Negativland's case, it would be harder for them to argue that their work applied for free use. The violation in question was an EP entitled U2, based on the rock band of the same name. The EP consisted of samples of U2's song, I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For, and a recording of radio disc jockey Casey Kasem going on a profane rant about U2, with one of the more notable lines from Kasem being, "These guys are from England, and who gives a shit?" Because of how extensive the samples used on the EP were, Negativland were promptly sued by U2's label, Island Records, in a lawsuit that wouldn't be a landmark case for fair use, but instead a stepping stone for future cases. This lawsuit was something that the band was thoroughly unequipped for. In fact, most of the profits made by the band went to pay for legal defense. Negativland's label at the time, SST Records, were adamant that the band should just pay Island Records off so that the lawsuit would be dropped. The band was not happy about this and insisted on fighting back against Island Records. This, however, proved impossible, so Negativland reached a settlement with Island Records. Island Records ordered that all copies of the EP be destroyed, including copies made by the band as well as any copies already distributed to the public. Also, all materials used to make the EP were to be destroyed, including cover art, prints, and cases. The band continues to fight for free use and against copyright laws. Founding member Mark Hostler was invited to speak with various congressional staff and members of the Library of Congress about copyright issues and how they can limit artistic expression. The band has also released a book/album chronicling the ordeal with U2, titled Fair Use, the story of the letter U and the numeral 2. While Negativland's story isn't one of triumph against the evil record label trying to silence creative expression, it is a hopeful one. This case presents more of an informative stepping stone to people looking to change the way we view copyright and intellectual property rights than it does actually significantly contribute to the legal precedent. But Negativland continues to fight and innovate, both in their music and in their battle for fair use.